Let's take a look at what is happening in the markets, and we start off with the local bourse that did get a mixed handover from the Asian markets overnight. We have seen the JSE extending its losses that we did see yesterday. Some economic data that local investors are digesting include retail sales for May that did see an uptick of 0.8% year on year. So looking at how that bourse is doing, a sea of red over there, the all share declining more than 0.8%. That largely coming from the financial 15 with pressure there of almost 1.5%. Industrial 25 also shedding there almost 0.6%. The resources 10 complex carrying the least of those losses with a decline of almost 0.1%. Let's take a look at what is happening in the US markets, and we've seen quite some interesting moves on that front as you are still seeing the rotation from the tech stocks to value stocks. Of course, you are seeing that action happening with the S&P 500 shedding more than 1%, a loss on the tech-heavy NASDAQ of almost 2.5%, but some buying action on the Dow there as it has increased by almost 1.5% so far. Let's take a look at what is happening with markets across the Atlantic and more economic data. We did have inflation figures coming out from the UK for June, with inflation coming in at 2%. They're remaining on that target that we saw in May, although markets had anticipated a cooling down to 1.9%. A mixed picture over there as well, with the FTSE 100 leading the gains that we are seeing over there, climbing more than 0.33%. The CAC 40 relatively flat, just 0.02% above that flat line, and the DAX are bucking that overall trend, declining by 0.4%. Let's take a look at what is happening on the currency scene and start off with how the Rand is doing against some of the major currencies. The Rand has given back some of its gains that we did see yesterday by 1% against the US dollar, now at over 18 Rand 20, against the pound at 23 Rand 69, and against the euro at 19 Rand 92. Let's check in on how the other currency pairs are doing, starting off with the euro dollar at 1.09, pound dollar at 1.3, and the yen just below 157 against the US dollar.